Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Keith Dronendijk, Planner 3 with the Planning and Building Department, calling the May 14th, 2025 Archaeological Commission meeting to order at 10 minutes after 2. Before we begin the meeting, we want to acknowledge with respect the indigenous peoples on whose ancestral lands we hold this Archaeological Commission meeting and whose historical relationships with that land continue to this day. Item 1 is roll call. Planning and Building Services is present. Museum Representative Lindsay Dick.
She let me know that she is trying to get her audio to work. So she said she might be calling in.
Okay. Archaeologist Representative Bill Cole is absent without notice. Native American, she's retired. Alternative Representative Nancy Johnson.
I'm here.
And we'll have to wait for a few minutes to wait for Lindsay Dick to be able to communicate. So we'll have to put ourselves on hold for a few minutes.
Can I talk about something else for a minute? You guys might know.
Yeah.
The road, they wanted, doesn't matter.
There's too many buttons that you have to mute, and this mouse is not working. Okay. Okay, that should be fine now.
Is she on there?
She hasn't said anything yet. She said she's going to try to call in because her camera is throwing off her audio.
Where's the phone?
Oh, hey Mark.
She's
How you
going
doing?
to try and call in. She said her camera. Oh, I accidentally just laughed at your message.
What's that?
She's typing now.
Oh.
She said she's going to try and call in.
Okay, I think I'm ready now. Sorry.
Okay, you are good.
All right, we'll go over the roll call again. Planning and Building is present. Museum Representative Lindsay Dick.
Here.
And Archaeological Representative Bill Cull is absent without notice. Alternative Representative Nancy Johnson.
Here.
Okay, moving on to the applications listed below will be reviewed by the Archaeological Commission. You were invited to view the meeting on YouTube and provide any information pertinent to these applications. If you have photographs of the site, you are encouraged to email them to the above email address by 2 p.m. on March 13th, 2025. That's the wrong date. So, item 3, survey required. There was no survey required items on the agenda, so we moved on to item 4, review of survey. And first one is administrative permit 2019-0106. Owner applicant Matthew Kuhn, agent is Javier Rao. This is an administrative permit for a 10,000 square foot mixed light cannabis cultivation operation. Permit type 2B within the Timberland Production Zoning District. Location is 4.2 plus minus miles southeast of Compchi Town Center, lying on the east side of Compchi Ukiah Road, County Road 223, 2 plus minus miles northwest of its intersection with Low Gap Road, County Road 212, located at 26501 Compchi Ukiah Road, Compchi, parcel number 125-288-77. Staff planner is Jamie Henry, and is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this item? Javier, you can
I can comment?
comment if you want, yeah.
It's recommended for approval?
Uh,
I forgot my paperwork.
Oh, yeah, well, no resources found, recommend the project be approved, and add accidental discovery clause was my comment.
Yeah, okay. So we're in agreement with that.
Okay, Jamie, you have anything to add about this project?
I don't have anything to add. This is pretty. I don't have anything to add. I don't have any comments. Pretty standard.
Okay, any comments on this for the commission? Commissioner Dick?
No, I just had the discovery clause added.
Commissioner Johnson?
I agree. It's been surveyed twice and nothing was found. Looks like they did the ground coverage pretty well.
Okay, so make a motion to accept the survey and add the discovery clause.
I'll second.
Roll call, Commissioner Dick,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
staff, yes.
All right.
That was quick and easy.
Easy. Gotta love it. Thank you guys very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Let's write this down. Moving on to 4B, so this is coastal development permit 2023-0022. Applicant is Scott Shadian. Its request is the standard coastal development permit for after the fact authorization of the following: remodel legal non-conforming second residential unit, legalizing on-site septic system to serve the SRU and its associated grading, and legalize or demolish a shipping container. Included in the request is the conversion of an existing barn into an art studio. The location is in the coastal zone, 2.8 plus minus miles north of the town of Manchester Center, 0.5 plus minus miles north of Owl Creek Road, which is a private road, on the east side of State Route 1, located at 16001 South Highway 1, Manchester, parcel number 132-210-43. Is there anybody in the public who wants to comment on this?
We have the owner online.
Go ahead, Scott, if you have any comments or
Sure. Yeah, hi. I'm not, it sounds like we're trying to figure out if we should have another survey, an archaeological survey, correct?
Well, there was a survey done in 1976, we noted that had a couple of little things, but they didn't add up to being an issue, so.
I think Sonoma State requested it, the information center.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I'm happy to speak. I'm happy to speak on the issue.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, well, thanks everybody. I appreciate the time. I just want to give some background on this. And the site in question was formerly part of the Nichols Ranch. It was an active dairy and agricultural operation going back to the 40s with cattle and sheep grazing and pea farming and row crops and construction of fencing barns and access roads. And so what we're really looking at is about, decades of intensive sustained mechanical and biological disruption. According to CEQA standards and judicial precedent, this level of disturbance drastically reduces the probability of undisturbed archaeological resources. And there's precedent for this in Preserve Wild Santee versus City of Santee 2012. The court held that prior disturbances undermines the rationale for further study, especially in the absence of new evidence, which directly applies here. And the former archaeological investigation, which was conducted on the site in the 1970s, followed the professional standards of its time, surveyed the relevant area under construction, and found no archaeological or cultural resources. And this report stood for 4 decades without any challenge. And since then, there have been no subsequent discoveries and no CHRIS listed sites nearby with no substantial ground disturbance that would justify reopening the case. I understand there's concern that the 1970s report is outdated due to technological advances, but this reasoning is not supported by CEQA or any binding precedent. Under CEQA guidelines 15064F, an agency must present substantial evidence that a project may have a significant impact. The idea that new tools exist now is not in itself evidence of potential impact. It's merely speculative. And courts have been clear on this point. In Sierra Club versus County of Sonoma, 1992, the court rejected the idea that a newer method alone could invalidate prior environmental findings. So without new site-specific evidence, a public agency may not require a new study just because the new methods have improved. And by that logic, every archaeological report in the county would eventually be invalidated, not by the facts, but by the passage of time. So that's not CEQA's intent, and it would create a moving target that punishes compliance and rewards bureaucratic churn. Also, both the Coastal Act 30244 and Mendocino County Code 20.532.095C require mitigation only where resources are known or reasonably suspected. In this case, no known or suspected resources are present. The CRIS database shows no map sites. The site is not designated high sensitivity, and the area has been deeply disturbed by decades of agriculture. Requiring a new survey here isn't what we'd call preservation. It would mainly be redundancy, and it's a costly mandate without factual justification.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This survey that was done in 76, so that's 50 years ago, and you said there's been decades of work on the property. Do the decades precede 1976?
Yes. Yeah, it goes back to the 40s. Yeah, it was the old Nichols Ranch. So this was the old dairy pea farm they had out here.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Commissioner Dick, any comments?
Well, my thought was, I don't remember when, but we had another similar thing come up against the Archaeology Commission where it had been bulldozed and plowed and used for farm for, I think it was like 30 or 40 years. And with that much ground disturbance already done, I don't know if we'd find anything where it should have been. I just think discovery clause if something comes along, but I mean, what was there is not where it was going to be.
Correct, and yeah, all the work's already been accomplished or done, so I don't think there's gonna be much ground disturbance after the fact, so.
You have a proposal that we accept the previous survey?
Right,
I guess
Or
that's
just-
what we would,
Or-
Jesse has
or
her
don't
hand raised.
require,
don't require a new survey and just add the discovery clause.
okay.
So,
Jesse has her hand up.
oh, Jesse, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. Jesse Waldman with Mendocino County Planning and Building Services. I appreciate all of the input that the applicant has brought today. And what I realized is that the response letter from Northwest Information Centers was not a part of the hearing packet. And they have specific comments about the age of the study. And I do apologize that that was not a part of your hearing. If you would like me to state, to read the letter, I can, or just the specific statements.
I think we had it.
Yeah, we have a letter.
Okay,
Yeah, we did get it.
okay, I'm really glad you got it, and thank you, and that's all I have to add.
So there was some cultural material, but they decided it wasn't significant enough to be an actual site. They had one chip stone, one grinding implement, and scattered marine shell. So,
Yeah.
So,
It's-
we recommend, I'll make a motion to not require a new survey and add the discovery clause to the conditions of approval.
I agree.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay, roll call vote. Commissioner Dick,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
yes,
and staff says yes. Okay, moving on to 4C. Administrative permit 2024-0023. This is, owner is Michael Adams. And this is an administrative permit for a 10,000 square foot mixed light cannabis cultivation operation, permit type 2B within the Timberland Production Zoning District. Location is 3.1 plus minus miles northeast of Covelo Town Center on a private road off Road 343, County Road 343, 1.2 plus minus miles north of its intersection with State Route 162, located at 78550 Road 343, Covelo. The staff planner is Jamie Henry, and are there anyone from the public that wants to comment? Seeing none, Jamie, you have anything to add? She's not even on. So with that, my notes were archaeological study, did not find any cultural resources except the survey and discovery clause.
can we sort of strengthen the discovery clause, because they found 5 sites within a half a mile of this location, so, but they did say they thought the probability of buried resources was low,
Yeah, I did see that.
but, that's a lot of sites within a half mile.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we would go about that.
Well, it's just, okay,
Because it's kind of written in,
yeah, it's all right, it's just my own.
okay, so we'll make a motion to accept the survey and add the discovery clause.
Yes,
Roll call vote, Commissioner Johnson?
yes.
Staff, yes. Commissioner Dick?
Yes.
Okay, so that covers all of the projects, and we're on to my little cheat sheet. Item 5, matters from staff. We're going to have a discussion of what constitutes grounds disturbance and to possibly amend the archaeological policy. And senior planner Mark Kleiser is here to present what the parameters might be.
Yes, good afternoon. Mark Kleiser, planner with Mendocino County. So for discussion today is a current memo that we're using on when to submit a project to ARC. So currently, all discretionary permits that have ground disturbance are being referred to Northwest Information Center. If Northwest comments that no further survey is required, we do not schedule the item for ARC. If, however, they recommend that further surveys are required or additional survey is needed, we will schedule the item for, what is, not review of survey, but the other item.
Recommended?
Survey required?
Survey required, yes. If the Archaeological Commission determines that a survey is required at that point, then we will reach back out to the applicant to have them submit a survey. Discretionary permits or CDPs without any ground disturbance, something like a setback reduction or vacation home rental, rezones and boundary line adjustments do not require any referral to Northwest or to ARC. What we're looking for today is two things. How much ground disturbance constitutes ground disturbance? So right now we are looking at 2 cubic yards. Question came up is fence posts. Would that require a recommendation to Northwest and or ARC? And then the second item is placement of large structures. So say a storage container where there is absolutely no ground disturbance, but we've got this heavy structure that is going to be laid down. Would either of those two require referral to ARC and Northwest?
And then I have another question. Let me ask my first question first. So we've done some projects that are lot line adjustments or dividing parcels, and I know Bill is real big on having the surveys done because he says it's the only time we get a chance to go and look at these parcels, because after that they're like in private ownership and they don't have to go through the county to do things.
Correct.
So how is that different than what you were just saying about?
A boundary line adjustment?
Yeah.
Boundary line adjustment's different. We're not taking one parcel and breaking it up into multiple parcels. We're taking an existing boundary line and maybe moving it north or west, or just reconfiguring it so that we've got 2 parcels, but now one parcel might be a little bit larger and another one next to it will be a little bit smaller.
And that's different in terms of what we need a survey for.
Yeah, a subdivision will create new parcels and that will allow the new owners to develop those parcels.
But a lot line adjustment doesn't.
No, not necessarily.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
I don't think having something just sitting on the ground is going to be a reason.
Okay.
I mean, to me, that doesn't seem like you're
Not
damaging the ground at all. I don't know what Lindsay thinks.
Well, that's kind of my thought too. If you're just putting something on top of it, you're not going to be disrupting or moving. So I don't see why putting something on top would be.
Okay. So that's, so just to clarify, a large storage container is being placed on a parcel. There is no ground disturbance involved. It's just being placed on the ground as is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, fence posts, if you don't know that there's a site, let's say there
Well,
is, and you're
and
putting
fence posts,
in every 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's fence posts. A fence line can go however many acres is the parcel, and on one end it might not have anything, and on the other it might. So it's.
And they go 2-3 feet deep.
2 feet, yeah, it's usually.
So,
yeah,
yes,
6
I
feet.
think that would not be an
Okay.
excuse not to do it. Do we ever get more of a reason from the information center besides just a check in a box saying, oh, there's sites in the area, so I think they need to go and do this? I mean, sometimes I feel like there's nobody that's really looking at the project, because some of these are on hillsides that are steep, there's no water nearby, but somewhere in the area there were sites recorded. And so they say there's a problem. Well, there's always a probability
Right.
in California of having an archaeological site. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of, I think Sonoma County's got more than 10,000 sites, just that county.
I think,
But they
my
don't,
understanding is that they will research the parcel and the area in the vicinity of the parcel at past studies and base their comments on those studies. So if a parcel has been reviewed in the past or adjacent parcels have been reviewed, depending on what those studies have found, they will make their recommendations and their
and they
comments
look at the
based on that.
topography, like a topography map as well, you think?
That I don't know, and we've tried to invite them here several times, and because of scheduling, it hasn't worked, but we can try to reach out to them again and have them come speak about their process.
I mean, my loyalty is to the archaeology, but at the same time, I feel for some of these landowners that, you know, it's not cheap to have
Yeah,
people come out,
Mhm.
and that can be really expensive. I don't know, I feel, or like some of these where they go, well, they surveyed it, but it was a long time ago. We don't actually change the method of surveying. People are still just out there walking over the ground with a trowel and looking at rodent holes and where a tree fell over. It's not much different than it was 50 years ago. It's not like every survey they're bringing out, you know, ground disturbance machines or anything, and look, I mean, the technology is just a very low tech thing.
yeah.
So I mean, the report certainly was different. Now, you know, you have a computer and you can put all these things in that have been typed up a million times. But I'm not sure that that's a good excuse for having it redone,
Yeah.
kind of, you know.
I think maybe the number of post holes that you have to dig might have some impact on needing a survey or not.
Well, what was the first thing? How much cubic?
2 cubic yards,
2 cubic yards,
that's
yes.
about 2 pickup beds, usually 8 foot by 4 foot, I think.
That's
it's-
quite a few.
yeah.
That's quite a few post holes.
Quite a few post holes. Cubic yard, yeah, because when I get a cubic yard of dirt, they take 2 tractor scoops and dump it in my truck, so it almost fills it.
Yeah.
So it'd be 4 tractor scoop loads of dirt, which is quite a bit.
But we are currently referring to projects that do have ground disturbance, I mean, any ground disturbance, even if it's less than 2 cubic yards, we are referring to Northwest in here.
Who
The
came
que-
up with the 2 cubic?
Oh, this is in our code,
Oh.
yeah. But the question is then fence posts, does that, I mean, we are disturbing soil, but not like in the traditional way where you're making a foundation for a home or for some other sort of accessory structure, or a driveway, for example.
You know, typically a fence post hole is only about this big around, if you're using those clamshell things.
Well, maybe the discovery clause with the fence posts would be, if that's all they're doing, maybe,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to, we wouldn't even see it though, right? We're saying that it wouldn't even
Yeah,
come to
it
us.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
come here.
it's- yeah,
Um,
fencing.
And typically, all discretionary permits do get the discovery clause.
Well, I think Lindsay had a point though. You can, you know, you can do a lot of fence posts around an acreage and that's a lot of soil being moved. I
Okay.
don't know how you decide how many post holes are 2 cubic yards, but
Yeah, I've dug plenty of them myself, but, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you then. I think we're going to go ahead
Oh, it
and.
looks like Valerie has her hand raised.
Oh, Valerie, great.
Go ahead, Valerie.
Hi, this is Valerie Stanley, Tipple for Sherwood Valley Tribe. I just have a couple of comments about what we're talking about. What I would like to see, if you can get it, Mark, for the Northwest Information Center, when we talk about placing like heavy sheds and those types of things like that, does it do damage, you know? Because sometimes when we've done other projects where there's maybe been a site, even if it's just a little tiny corner, you know, we'll put protective fabric down and then allow like capping, usually rock, gravel, And that does add weight, that does not destroy the site, but I'm kind of looking more like you're talking a shed, that's quite heavy. And we're talking about possibly an unknown, whether there's a site there or not. I'm just curious as to what that is. And then if Mark, hit me up later, but it's Brian you're talking about, right, at Northwest Information?
Correct.
Okay. Text me later because maybe I can make the request to have him come to the ARC commission. You know what I mean? Like we're doing this together, and so maybe they can find the time to do that.
Yeah,
I can
okay.
ask for a travel consultation with him for the ARC commission. If that's something you want to do, let me know, email me. And then I just wanted to make one final comment, that, there is an expense involved. However, when I look at it from the tribe, our, as you call artifacts, our cultural resources, they're priceless. There is no price attached to them. And that's part of my job on the protection of these items. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Okay, well then, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Mark. So item number 6, matters from the commission. Any matters, Commissioner Johnson?
No.
Commissioner Dick, any comments or concerns?
Nope, nothing for me. Other than sorry for my technical problems.
That's okay, it happens to all of us. Item 7, matters from the public. Are there any members of the public at the Willis Library location who wish to speak?
Nope, there's no one at the museum here.
And Colo Library isn't online, so make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 2:43.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Dick,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Staff, yes. So the meeting is adjourned. Thanks.
So now let me ask you, if you guys know anything about the Low Gap Road that